So two of my favorite books right now. This one has always been my favorite book. This because she doesn't pull any punches. She just like is in your face, and people who know me well, there's a reason I love that, because I'm kind of direct. And so I love this, so thank you, Christina, for picking some passages out of that. Catherine Ponder's kind of new to me, and I love this book. It's got, I think, 20-some different spiritual laws in it on how to create a prosperous life. And so today we're going to talk about the vacuum of prosperity, or the vacuum of life. Because what I found out as I was reading the book is, you know, I think she probably used the word prosperity because aren't we all wanting to shift our consciousness around prosperity? So two things you know in when you're publishing anything: give the people what they want. So dynamic laws of prosperity instead of the dynamic laws of life. People might go, okay, prosperity, we're like, oh, hungry. And give them a list. We love lists. How many of these are there? She didn't do that. She just did the dynamic laws. But on the back, oh my, I was mistaken. There's 20 dynamic laws of prosperity. And I just love it. So a vacuum. We know that we have vacuum cleaners, and they suck things up, don't they? We also have heard the expression, nature abhors, not dislikes, abhors. That's a big, strong word. Abhors a vacuum. So what does that mean? It means that when you give things up, they'll be replaced by the universe. Easily and effortlessly, if you have faith that that can happen. So, for me, my husband built me this amazing walk-in closet. And I have given a lot of clothes away. However, trust me, I've run out of hangers. And I bought a lot of hangers for this closet. And in a conversation I was having, I think with Cynthia, maybe with a couple practitioners, I don't know. I was having a conversation about giving clothes up and why for me that is difficult. Even though in my heart I know I am never going to wear that again. Why is it hanging in my closet? There's memories attached to it, right? There was the pair of leather pants I wore on Paul and my second date that I hung on to for 14 years. I just gave them up because I held them up. I thought, you know, number one, I don't know if you're ever going to wear leather again. And number two, probably not this pair of leather pants. So, you know, but we hang on to things for different reasons. And so it's a practice. So my commitment to myself was, I'm going through my closet and I'm really going to look at each piece of clothing and say, am I ever going to wear this? And if I'm not, release it. Because here's what happens, especially ladies, because if you're like me, we love clothes. Give it up, the universe is going to replace it. And it will replace it with things that are more in style and fit you better. I'm just saying. Relationships. How many of you are in a relationship or have friends that you realize now it's not good? You know, it's not good. And I know nobody in this room, this doesn't, I saw you two kiss, very cute, doesn't concern Paul and I. However, there are some people that are in relationships and they stay in a relationship because what? It's comfortable. And it's scary if I have to start over. So I'll just stay in the relationship. That's lack of faith in the universe, right? And lack of faith in yourself. And so if you're in a relationship that's not feeding your soul, so let's talk personal relationship first. If you're in a relationship that's not feeding your soul and you're like this all the time, the two of you should do each other a favor. It's been great. Love you deeply. We're complete. The universe has said we're complete. And I have shared this story before. However, I think it's important, and I got some of the facts wrong because I reread it today. So in Edwina Gaines' book, she talks about this. 6 months pregnant, and she's in Hong Kong. She has the perfect marriage. She is happy. She believes her husband is happy. Life is good. She's tired. She's going to go to the hotel room. She's going to take a little nap. And then they're going to go out to dinner. She wakes up. He walks in and says to her, Edwene, I do not love you anymore. We are done. And walks out. And remember, she's got a chapter on forgiveness. I'll get to that. But can you imagine the hurt and the pain? And yet, now that she's been through it, she would never go back to that relationship. Never. Mary Morrissey, thank you, has the same kind of story. She has it about marriages. She has it about our church, how we hang on to things that are complete and we need to let go of. Because the universe abhors a vacuum also. And so when you let go and you have faith, it will shift and change. So I thought about it in my financial realm, how I went from really having to let loose of everything to today. And I thought, well, you might not want to tell them that story. That took 8.5 years to rebuild my financial good that is better now than it has ever been in my life. And some people might say, 8.5 years, good grief. And yet I look back on 8.5 years and I wouldn't give up a day, not a day of that process, because I needed every single day for me to say, remember, I'm bold, I'm beautiful, I'm confident. Bring it on, right? I needed to be there before that could happen in my life. Friends, do you keep friends just because? Not because, like you're thinking, oh, I gotta go out with Susie on Tuesday because we go out like once a quarter, and if I don't, but there's no joy in it. Maybe your relationship is complete. The biggest gift I got was a friend. We'd been friends for, Lord. We'd been friends a long time, many decades. And I got clean and sober, and I found Centers for Spiritual Living. And she literally said to me, we can't be friends any longer. We have nothing in common. And at first, it broke my heart. So I'm like, seriously? We grew up together. What do you mean we have nothing in common? Biggest gift she gave me. Because she wasn't in a place in her life that she could get clean and sober. She certainly wasn't in a place in her life that she could have found any spirituality. And so at that time in our life, we were like this. Now, sometimes this turns into this. And she came down to Santa Fe to visit me and went to the church down there. And so we got back on track. Are we ever going to be as close as we were when we were in high school? No, we're not the same people. But I couldn't have made new friends if I'm going to continue to hold on to the old tribe. Because I've told you about my old tribe. None of them is sitting here. Not one of them. And if I'd hung on to them, I would be sitting with them and I would have been back and nothing in my life would have changed. And so you have to be willing. You have to have faith. This doesn't work for me anymore. Materially, physically, emotionally, financially. You need to be able to let go. And really, Catherine Ponder talks about let go, loose, let God. She throws in the word loose, which means to me really unattached from it. Let it go. That's work. Sorry. I know we want easy, don't we? Everybody here is like, give me that magic pill. Come on, Gayle. You know what it is. Yeah, if I knew what it was, it wouldn't have taken 8.5 years. There is no magic pill. Sorry. There just isn't. And don't call it work. This takes opportunity. This is your life. This is your movie. This is your book you're writing. Nobody gets to scribe on it except you. And so you get to decide. Nobody can do that for you. And so the big one, what's the biggest thing that we hang on to that's going to create the biggest vacuum? Our hurts, our judgments. I've been done wrong. Every country song out there tells us how bad life is and how bad people are to us, right? We hang on to that. It is human. And so what if we really started to let go? To let go and really forgive. So with Edwene Gaines, this is where she started. I forgive you, you sorry son of a gun. Only she just had a line in the page and I filled it in with something other than gun. And it took her 7 years. 7 years to let go of the pain, and I imagine the embarrassment, because we want to make it about us, so how embarrassing for us that this would happen. I have to come home and now I'm pregnant and my husband's left me. It's awful. We all have, it's awful. And we love to share that. And I talked about it before. It's like, rip the bandage off one more time. Let me see if that sore is really healed yet. Oh, no, it's bleeding. Oh, good. It's right where it's supposed to be, right? Don't we do that? Don't we do that with our stories that we tell? Don't we do that with the woe is me? Or the complaints? Or the judgments? And it's a practice. Because here's the truth. We all do it. Every single one of us. There is not a practitioner here that doesn't do it. And if they do, I will challenge them because I've heard them. We all go there. Every single one of us, we go there. Ministers go there. I imagine every religion, no matter how much they stand up and put on their cloth and say, I'm above all that, they go there. Right? They do it with their best buddy. They do it with their confidant. They do it with somebody. So first of all, don't blame and shame yourself about doing it. However, what would it be like if I really forgave? First of all, give up the fact that the person who has done you wrong is waiting for you to forgive them. They moved on way back when they first did their hurt. They don't care. If they cared, they'd come to you and ask for forgiveness. Wouldn't they? They'd make amends. If they haven't done that, then this battle that's going on in your head, how many of you have what I call monkey mind? Yeah. That battle that's going on in your head, it's between you and your head. That person isn't really there, except that person is still with you. How many of you have somebody that has really hurt you? Really? I'm the only person in the room that has somebody that's really hurt. Oh, good. Oh, thank you. I was like, seriously? Wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Table in the back. Good. Everybody raised their hand. Unless you're 3, maybe not. So you've got somebody that has really, really hurt you. You don't ever want to see them again. You don't want them playing in your sandbox. You don't want them, you don't want anything to do with them. And yet, I would bet at least once a week you have a conversation with that person. Because they have creeped their muddy little feet across your mind, and now you're going to get into an argument with them. Guess what? They aren't there. The only 2 people having that argument is you and you. And they haven't left your life. Now think about it. When somebody finally said to me, really? You realize that ex-husband that you so don't want anything to do with, every day, it's like he's walking there with you arm in arm, and I'm like, oh, heck no. What do I need to do to stop that? And you need to forgive. It's not about the other person. It's about loving yourself so much that you're willing to say, what did Edwene say? Isn't that interesting? Yeah. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that curious? Isn't that curious? And then let them go. And don't expect, like, all of a sudden they're going to show up in your life and they're going to make amends. They might not. Here's the thing that we believe about the universe, right? It's reciprocal. You put out good, you're going to get back what? You put out not so good, what are you going to get back? Let the universe take care of that person. You don't have to. And by holding on to them, you have created a kink, if you will, in the flow of your good. You've created a kink in the flow of your life because you are doing self-harm by not forgiving. It's not about them. It's about loving yourself so completely. It's like, I'm gonna let them go. And if you haven't done that yet and you want to do that, I highly suggest you either find a group of people to do it with and do a ritual. Really let them go. Sit with a practitioner. Really let them go. Tell your story one more time to somebody that will sit and listen to it and you can be heard, beginning to end. Somebody that will really listen. That is why I suggest practitioners. Because many of us, when we listen, we want to interject, don't we? We want to fix. Human nature. Let me get in there and fix it for you. Really? We don't need to be fixed. We need to be heard. We need to be listened to. We need somebody to just say, wow, I totally understand. And then give it up. Because it's the same story over and over and over again. And what's going to happen is you will attract those people into your life continually until you quit giving up the story. Because what you're telling the universe every time you tell your story is, more please. I must like that. I'm telling the story. More please. And so really giving up, really taking a situation and making it good, even though most people would think that must have been miserable. Oh, I love it when God says, oh, that's how you can tell them about your story. Because I was like, I don't know how I'm going to fit that in, and I know it's important. I know it's important because it's about the human spirit. And some of the people heard this in my prayer circle when we did not mine, when we did our prayer circle this morning, our gratitude circle. I went to a Lyle Lovett concert last night at San Michelle. And if you've ever been there, it's outside. And if you were conscious, it downpoured last night at different times. And I mean downpoured, like East Coast downpour rain. Not the drizzle, not the Seattle gloom, downpour. And I love the human spirit. People were there to see Lyle Lovett. They didn't care. They didn't care it was raining. I got great ideas on how to protect myself from the rain if I go to a concert now. Ingenious things that people would do. I saw a couple put a plastic, a big heavy piece of plastic on the ground, pull it up in front of them and pull it over the top, and they'd made a little two-man tent. And when my son arrived, he opened up their little side flap and said, you got room for one more in there? Nobody complained. And amazingly, the rain stopped when the concert started. Because nobody was complaining about the rain. So of course it's going to stop. And it started when we started to walk back to our car. But it was just, it's that thing about you have a choice. You have a choice in every situation. Am I going to look at this and say, yay? Or am I going to look at this and turn it into a pile of poo? You're the only person that does that, right? Nobody out here is doing anything to you. Everybody's giving you an opportunity to make a decision. How am I going to act or react to that given situation? And once I react, I've now given my power to that person on a silver platter. Here, you take control, because now I'm going to spin out and make it all about you. It's not about them. You're the one that is choosing to spin out. So that is what forgiveness is about. It is about saying, isn't that curious? So how many of you have been saying your mantra every single day? Yay! All right. And those that you may have not been here or have chosen not to, good for you too. If you weren't here, we had decided, because it's not going to hurt, right? Can't hurt if I'm being positive about myself. Pick a little 5 to 10 word mantra, something that you will remember, and say it every single day, and watch your life shift, because you're shifting your energy. You say it first thing in the morning instead of, oh, I got to go to work this morning and it's cold and it's dark and it's raining outside. I'm bold, I'm beautiful, I'm confident. Yay me, right? Whatever it is, say that every day, and I promise you, you're shifting your energy, your life will shift. How many of you are ready to forgive? How many of you are like, okay, I'll practice? It's okay. I practice all the time. All of us do. It's a practice. However, just imagine if we really all started to forgive. How much free energy that would create within us and then the energy around us. So I truly invite you, say the mantra, practice forgiveness, and if you're at that place, I don't know how to forgive, what Edwene says is every night before you go to sleep, ask yourself, who have I put outside my heart today? And then bring them forward and love them up. All energetically. You're not inviting strange people into your bedroom. But it's important that you bring them in and, do Ho'oponopono, do whatever you choose. Ho'oponopono, the way I say it, many different ways. You don't have to come up after service and say that I said it wrong. This is the way I learned it. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. No, I'm sorry. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And all you have to do before you go to sleep is just continually say that. And what it does, it's not about them. It clears your consciousness of the energy that you're holding around them. So, let's take a deep breath. So just knowing right here and right now that God is all there is, and I love that. I love to just say it, to really own it, to be with it, that like, wow, I'm living and breathing and having my existence in the playfield of the divine, that container of good that I choose to call God, that is always, always, always there. It never goes anywhere. I can refuse to notice it. I can do whatever I want to on this human plane. It is there, awaiting me, listening to me, providing for me. And as it is for me, so it is for all of you. It is that power and that presence, that eternal thing itself that is over us, around us, and through us. And so I know right here and right now that each one of us has the capacity within our hearts to let loose of those things that we're hanging on to, be it judgments, be it clothes, be it people, places, or things. We free ourselves up mentally, emotionally, spiritually, financially, physically, so we can be that God-informed, the best that we have come here to be. And so I just say thank you. Thank you, God, for this community known as Genesis and the shift in consciousness that we do daily for ourselves, knowing that as we do that work, it truly does affect everything around us, everyone around us. So I just turn it over, I let it go, I let it be, because God's got this. It always had and it always will. Thank you, thank you, thank you, as I let go and let God, and so it is. Amen.